I'm just talking, top rope walking, ultimate Xing, serious flexing, never be vague with your boy Craig, and opinion mixing from Pete to Nixon. Keep doing things in an impactful way. Bloody nonsense, as the Brits say. Talking bloody nonsense.
Yes, it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact. Joined as always by the one and only Peter Nixon. This is Talking Bloody Nonsense right here on the TNA IW channel. It's a new week, it's a new Impact, but first things first. Nixon, how's it going?
Not too bad. I went to the fracture clinic yesterday, and the doc is happy with how my collarbone is healing. So basically, it's fractured in two places, but it's all perfectly aligned. So it's just going to nip together like that, and yeah, over time, it'll heal perfectly. I'll still have this lovely, I don't think you can see it, that lovely bump.
Right.
So I'm deformed forever, but yeah, it's not going to need surgery, and yeah, I'll be back to lifting things in the new year. Things heavier than a bottle of Budweiser.
Very nice. On the mend, it's all that matters. So I guess we should talk some Bound for Glory. It was although a lot of people seem to think it was controversial. I guess we'll get into further details on that. But as always, we'll go match by match, give our thoughts, feelings, what we liked, what we didn't like, who stood out, what stood out. And I guess we'll have some nonsense along the way as well, because, you know, got to stick to the gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
So we start off, of course, with the pre-show countdown, whatever you want to call it. Open challenge for the Digital Media Championship. Brian Myers defeating the Dirty Dango, which no one saw coming. 7-minute match, but yeah, let's start with the DMC, because probably take less amount of time. But yeah, Dirty Dango is surprised. What do you think of the match? What was think of the Digital Media Open Challenge?
So yeah, that was a great surprise. It was really cool to see Fandango. I even pointed at the screen and said to Kaylee, "Look, it's Fandango," because she's aware of Fandango as opposed to a lot of the other wrestlers on the scene at the moment. She knows who Fandango is, so that was cool. Someone who's not even a casual fan knows who Fandango is. So it was a great moment. Having said that, the match was a bit formulaic. It did what it needed to do. It got the big pop to start the show. I'm fine with it, with the belt staying on Brian Myers. Yeah, not really much else to say about that one. It was cool. I'm glad the belt stayed with Brian Myers for the time being.
Yeah, I'm in agreement on that. It's a very solid match. I mean, only 7 minutes, but still a very strong match for the countdown show. Nice, like I said, nice pop for Dirty Dango, Fandango. Makes sense him being in this division. He did, I believe, the Fandango Chalala made it to number 4 in the UK charts.
Mm-hmm. Madness.
Yeah, which completely batshit. But I popped because, like I said, everyone, even if you're casual, you've seen Fandango, you know what it's about. Of course, this is a different side of Dango, Dirty Dango we're seeing. But I'm for it. Rumors are always sticking around. I'm fine. It makes no odds to me. A good hand can really go, and yeah, I'm cool with it. Just before we move on to the main show, got to talk about the Hall of Fame. Raven smashing it like he always knew he would, and Raven being Raven and hitting Dreamer with the DDT. What was your favorite part of that? Because there was a lot going on in that Hall of Fame speech.
I think it's probably my favourite Impact Hall of Fame speech to date. I think Raven did a tremendous job. He was entertaining. He was. He talked about his personal struggles with mental health. I ran through his career, and he didn't hold back. He was blunt. He didn't sugarcoat anything. I thought he did a great job. And very cool that Dreamer was the guy to induct him, and then Dreamer got a DDT for his efforts. I thought that was wonderful.
Just
and
when
the
you
fact
think
that the crowd booed him afterwards was chef's kiss, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. It was Raven being Raven, but you also got to see Scott on the other side of that. So it was perfect mix. And it's a great Hall of Fame speech. A lot of them tend to go on a little bit unnecessarily. This one, I could listen for 5 more minutes easily. It was great. I agree. Yeah, it's certainly in Impact Wrestling. It's the best Hall of Fame speech. I mean, for me, it used to be Abyss because I thought that was a great entry because it made it feel a bit more special. In fact, it was its own thing. But then you had the Austin Aries, Johnny Impact stuff going on after it.
Yeah.
Which, is what it is. But this one, yeah, it's great. I don't usually like them being on the countdown because it's, I don't know, maybe because I feel like it should be its own thing. But I get it when it's just one person. So I understand it. And yeah, it's just a great whole thing, great speech. Crowd booing him. Tommy Dreamer taking the even flow DDT one more time. What's not to like about it?
Yeah.
Now we'll go on to Bound for Glory, pick the pay-per-view. And the first surprise of the night, Frankie Kazarian defeats Spiel Mike Bailey via submission to become the new X Division champion. Now, a banging match, as you all know it would be. It's interesting where they went with Kazarian. Just after the plus special just gone. I forget the name.
Victory Road.
Now, when I was on the mothership with Jeff, I had a feeling that Kazarian may win, but I didn't make that a prediction, which maybe I should have done. I clearly saw something happening, but yeah, what's your take on that? Kazarian is the X Division champion. A lot of people weren't necessarily happy. The crowd, who throughout were on fire. A bit of a lull, but that's what you can expect from any crowd. The crowd were fine with it, but I tend to stay off social media during Impact pay-per-views because it gets a lot of negative reaction unnecessarily. But what did you think of the match and the result?
A lot to talk about there. So in terms of the results, if we contrast it with Victory Road, I predicted every single match result correctly, apart from the Killer Kelly Tasha Steelz match, which was a DQ. Contrast that with Bound for Glory, and out of the however many 8 or 9 matches, I got 2.
Oh,
I was
I don't think
Speedball was going to retain, and it would be like a big marquee win in his long X Division title reign over, X Division legend AEW's Frankie Kazarian. When Frankie won, I was very surprised. I'm not offended by it.
No.
In fact, I'm fine with it. I just need to, like I've said on social media, let it pan out, see where it goes, give it a chance. Don't shit on it from the get-go. Because, Frankie could take it to AEW and defend it on TNT and TBS and against some big names. or he could be defending it against Serpentico on AEW Dark. It could go either way. Or
Right.
he might not do any of that. He might just stick around in Impact for a bit, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you got to bear this in mind. Frankie Kazarian was he first won the X Division Championship in 2003.
Yeah.
He held the belt in 2010, and now he's holding the belt in 2022.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how long Frankie Kazarian has been wrestling, and that's how long he's been a championship contender. He's held the X Division Championship in 3 different decades. Who else can say that?
Exactly. It's, I mentioned there about saying on social media how you've got to let it all play out. I feel like with Impact pay-per-views, we have to say that a lot because it feels like people are like, I want this to happen, so if it didn't happen, I'm not happy and I'm frustrated. I don't want it to happen now. But Impact don't tend to book for the sake of the fans, if that makes sense. They don't book to make everyone happy. They book to something they'll think will make a decent or a great show, which Bound for Glory was absolutely. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Kazarian. I have seen someone has written a spoiler, but I don't know if it's a legitimate spoiler because I haven't checked it out. It wasn't on a site. It was someone writing a post with a fake mocked up poster. So I don't know if it's legit. I'm hoping it isn't because I'm hoping I haven't found out that it's true. But I've got a feeling Speedball won't be in that title for very long. Now, if that is the case, I don't know why they did it. I don't know why they made him drop it when he could have broke all kinds of records. But no, I agree. I was more surprised than annoyed at the result. I wasn't annoyed at it at all because Kazarian was great. Now, Lucha mentioned on Sunday's show that he was confused why Kazarian made people tap out when Kazarian has. I don't think Kazarian's ever made anyone tap out. But I'm fine with it because Impact have earned the benefit of doubt with the booking. I've said it so many times, and I'm going to say it again on the show, but they have, and all in all, a fantastic match. If the world titles hadn't happened, that'd be match of the night. Like if it wasn't for the knockouts in the Impact World title, the X Division title would be match of the night. Maybe it still would have been if it was in fresh on people's memories then, but with TNA Impact, the X Division starts the show, and rightly so, because what a banger. Let's now move on to Mickie James defeating Mia Yim.
If I could just, sorry, Craig,
No.
just to carry on the whole Kazarian and Speedball discussion. I don't want it to ramble on, but I just need to get this point across. Frankie has been trying to get over the chicken wing as a finish on AEW TV, so it's not out of the blue that he would tap Speedball out. I think you're right. It would have been match of the night if it hadn't been for the Knockouts World Title match and the men's World Title match.
Yeah.
And I think if Speedball had won it, people would be voting it as match of the night. But people have this, like you said, people get offended when the person they want to win or think should win doesn't win. They don't give it a chance to pan out. They instantly jump on social media and shit on it. Yeah. I saw someone, and you're right to not go on social media on pay-per-view nights, because I did, and I regret it.
Yeah.
Someone posted, and this is based on 2 match results. They turned the pay-per-view off. Why the fuck would you do that? You paid for the pay-per-view. The clues in the name, pay-per-view. Why would you turn it off because two of your favourites didn't win? It makes no sense. It's just people being negative towards Impact Wrestling because LOL TNA still exists, apparently.
It's baffling. People want instant gratification and for something they believe is what they want to see. If I think I want to see this, I watch. I should have a say in what gets booked. No, Impact owes the fans nothing apart from a decent show, which they put on every single week.
And Bound for Glory was amazing. I think if it wasn't for Hard to Kill, it would have been the best pay-per-view of the year, regardless of wrestling promotion.
Yeah,
it was an incredible show.
Spectacular. But we move on to Mickie James defeating Mia Yim in the last radio. Mickie James still around, as we kind of guessed she would be. She's not going to lose after the fifth match in the last rodeo. Although there are moments where I thought it was going to happen, but that's good storytelling, good booking. Where I believed for a brief second, even though everything about this says there's no way Mickie James is losing, I believed it for a few seconds because they did such a good job. Again, a great match. Certainly not the best one on the card, but for what it was, the storytelling of this match was great. And Mickie James is a reason she's a legend. And Mia Yim, which I hope she does come back. I know she is technically now a free agent, but I don't think it's the last we'll see of Mia Yim because there's still more tables to come. And she still wants to match against Tasha Steelz, which I'll take 100%. Yeah, Mickie James, Mia Yim, thoughts?
I love this match. I think if this match was the main event of an Impact Plus special or any other pay-per-view for that matter, I would not be disappointed. I thought the match was fantastic. I think they've got great chemistry. And like you said, Mickie James proved why she's the legend. And Mia Yim, she's one of the best wrestlers on the circuit at the moment. I know her contract has come up. And like you said, I'd love to see her stick around. But I did hear that WWE are interested in bringing her back. And
this,
I think with the current, Triple H now being in charge, I think she'd be foolish not to go back because she'd be utilized to her full potential. Yeah,
and it seems WWE are interested in a lot of Impact talent.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of worrying.
Yeah. I mean, as we mentioned it last week, we won't go into too much detail on this week, but talent will come and go, and as long as they are top tier talent, there's nothing to worry about. But as far as Mickie James and Miriam went, I thought it was a great match, a nice, a good palate cleanser from the Fury of the X Division. And then it's just this thing with the show. It was each match had its own different thing going on, which means you're still invested in the match coming, not in the match just gone.
Mm.
But all in all, a fantastic match between Mickie and Mia, and I can't wait to see where this last rodeo goes now, because I think there's got to be a few more on the list for Mickie James. But next up, a match even though I guessed it out of nowhere, I predicted correctly. The Death Dolls, Jessica and Taya, with Rosemary defeat Vex, Chelsea Green, and Deonna Purrazzo to become the new Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. Probably, I think was the shortest match on the card, which fair enough. At 7 minutes 23 seconds, but it was still a great match, and like the crowd maybe weren't as into this one, but they were still making a lot of noise for it, which I was all about. But yeah, new Knockouts Tag Team Champions, tag titles are flip-flopping again. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Knockouts tag titles is getting a bit of a reputation for being a dirty little stop out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hot potato, isn't it? The Knockouts tag titles. The match was good, was fine. I was pleasantly surprised with how well Taya and Jessica work together, considering it's not their first tag team match as a team, but
No.
they haven't been a team long. Yeah, I thought the match was fine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I was expecting, really. I wasn't expecting match of the night, and it certainly wasn't. But yeah, it was good.
Right.
I would have liked to have seen Vex retain because of the hot potato thing, and because I think they had momentum. But then who knows what's going to happen with Deonna? I think her contract's up now.
Yeah, Deonna's up. WWE are interested in bringing Chelsea Green. But of course, on this week, Impact, the Vex are teaming with Giselle to take on the Death Dolls. So, but I hope it isn't the case of Giselle teaming with someone and that team blows off. Because it's just unfortunate luck if it happens twice.
Mm.
But no, match was a solid match for the Knockout Tag Titles, and Deonna and Taya just work incredibly well together. I've never been disappointed by the match they're involved in, and that streak continues. A very, very good match. It's just they need to do something about these Knockouts Tag Titles. They must either stop putting on people who contracts are running up, or you just I don't know what that's to do, because something needs to happen with these tag titles being put on people on the way out the door, essentially.
Mm.
Speaking of which, the Impact World Tag Team titles, they're on the line next. The Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, taking on the Motor City Machine Guns, and again a fantastic match. Like, the Guns just don't age, and the Kingdom is obviously I've been familiar with them, but I thought this is the first time I've really seen them have a spotlighted match, and all four of them just killed it. Maria getting on the apron, she never learns.
Mm.
But I thought this was a killer match, and part of me, I can't remember if I predicted the Machine Guns to win this one or not. I think I may have gone.
You predicted OGK. I predicted Machine Guns.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, what's your take on it? And now with the rumors that Taven and Bennett and Maria and Vincent being backstage at Raw the other night, WWE interested in Matt Taven and Mike Bennett wanted to go back to WWE. What's your take on that and the match itself?
Again, I think Taven, Bennett, Maria, Vincent, they'd be foolish to pass up WWE. I think Vincent would be great alongside Bray Wyatt in some.
Yeah, the Wyatt Six. Yeah, definitely.
Bennett and Maria have been there. They've got their act. It would be cool to see Taven in that environment. I think he'd be a great addition to the NXT roster right now, taking off where Adam Cole left off, just being that dickhead, cowardly heel, but just puts on fantastic match every takeover.
Yeah, I mean, I would kill to see the OGK versus Pretty Deadly for the NXT tag titles.
Oh yeah,
that would be a banger of a match. Anyone in NXT, quite frankly, I think they would fit in so well in NXT.
Yeah. What's
And-
the name of that? The brothers, the varsity gimmick in NXT.
The Creed brothers.
The Creed
ACU?
brothers, yeah, against OGK. I think that would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
Creed, yeah,
I know
Yeah,
they've
there's-
got some NXT lately, so their tag roster is kind of suffering. So yeah, maybe that's where the Kingdom are headed.
yeah, and they would fit in very well there.
Yeah, but bringing it back to Bound for Glory
Mm.
and this tag team match again, I loved this match. Even though I predicted the Machine Guns to win, I'm glad OGK retained, because if they're sticking around a little bit longer, then great, because I'm a huge fan. Apart from the big booking decision, which we'll get to, my only criticism of this show was the pacing, because coming off of the X Division title match, Mia Yim versus Mickie James, the women's tag titles, and now the men's tag titles. The show never had a down. It was bang, 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 bang. You know, it's so fast paced. You didn't have time to breathe. And when it got to the world title match, I was fucked. I know it was like 3:30 in the morning over here, so of course I was knackered anyway. But yeah, I kind of struggled to maintain interest in the world title match. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it, because a lot of people were saying it was match of the night.
I was with you on that.
Yeah, I really struggled, especially, after how good the rest of the show was and the frenetic pace. I know it's such a weird criticism. Basically, I'm saying the show was too good.
Yeah. I know.
We needed a shit match at some point, just just for a breather.
Yeah, I'm like, I was on like 3 energy drinks by that point, by the coil shot, and I was desperate for a pee, but I couldn't go because there's so much going on that you couldn't leave. But quickly before we get to the coil shot and that decision, the tag team division, these two personify the tag team division Impact right now, which is now going to now begs the question if, again, because I've seen semi-spoiled, nothing that's spoiled it for me, but given that the contracts are up, I want to see what's going to. I've got to watch Impact. I obviously don't miss Impact, but now I have to watch Impact to see what the hell's going to happen with these tag titles. Is if OGK are done and On and More are done, which I think we'll touch more on the main event, but something felt off about Eddie in the main event when On and More came out, but I'll touch on that in the final bit. But now, coil shot gauntlet. So, if we're going to go with, well, simply, we had Eric Young, then Joe Hendry, who got a great reaction. So happy with that. Steve Macklin, Rich Swann, PCO, Savannah Evans, Johnny Swinger, Tasha Steelz, Kelly Kelly, Moose, Sami Callihan, Taylor Wilde, Giselle Shaw, Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, Bhupinder Gurja, Heath, Bobby Fish, and Matt Cardona.
What a rogues gallery of wrestling talent you have there.
You're right. So, and of course, Bully Ray won by last eliminating Steve Macklin, which Twitter basically exploded over. But what's your thought on the surprises? I didn't catch this, but I got to watch it with my sister. She caught it during the Death Dolls entrance. Apparently, I have to go back and watch it, but apparently, on the Twitter handle part of their name bar, Taylor Wilde's Twitter handle was on there during the Death Dolls entrance, which I didn't catch, but hey, Impact's going to impact.
Well, I didn't catch it, and I'm usually pretty on the ball with this stuff, so hopefully not many other people saw it. Because yeah, that's a spoiler, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But never mind. These things happen.
Yeah. But let's get on to Bully Ray. When Bully Ray came out, I popped. Of course I did. Bully Ray, like, two-time TNA Impact World Champion. But to have him win when Macklin was right there. First of all, okay, let's just go on the surprises. Cardona, Rhino, Dreamer, Bully, Giselle, Taylor. Those are some solid surprises. Which one would you say was the surprise of the night? For me, it's got to be Bully Ray.
Yeah, it was a huge surprise, and I did pop when he came out, even though I think he's a tool and he needs to keep his opinions to himself at times. It was a big moment because he's the former world champion. He's an Impact Hall of Famer. It was a cool moment, and especially when they had Bully, Dreamer, Rhino, all ECW alumni do the fist bump in the ring, and Swinger comes and puts himself in it because he was in ECW.
Yeah, he was there.
He belongs in that picture. I thought that was very funny. Yeah, that was a great moment. And Bully with the Waza with Taylor Wilde.
Yeah.
Great moment.
Yeah.
It didn't need to go past that.
Yes, I'm with you on that one. It was, you got the Bully Ray pop. He can stick around after that, but to have him win when Steve Macklin was right there.
Macklin was there. Bobby Fish was there. Cardona was there.
Yeah, it felt a bit confusing. But I'm not against Bully Ray coming in and putting over the younger guys. I'm not against that. He can do that very well. But to win that match, that's not putting him over.
Mm.
If he wants his match against Josh, sure they can do it at Overdrive. Surely that's the possibility. You haven't got to have Bully come in, win that entire Battle Royal, and eliminate one of the biggest rising stars in Impact right now. Take him out and then challenge Josh, when you can just have him challenge Josh outright instead of having him hold that trophy. Because it's every person who's had that trophy has won the world title or won a title. I don't want to see Bully Ray as world champion.
No,
nothing against him. When Bully Ray won the world title, like, he was one of the biggest heels in wrestling at that time. Ace and Eights were on fire until it just went downhill. And seeing Chris Sabin beat Bully Ray, that's I think maybe the first time I was ever fully invested in a title match and in wanting a world champion. So Bully Ray can do it all right, but I wasn't a fan of this decision. I felt like something just dropped out the air. Like this, it wasn't the right decision. But as we keep saying, it's Impact booking the show. We've got to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
But I think if they want this match against Josh between Bully and Bully Ray, they can find a way of making that happen without him winning the gauntlet. But I guess we'll see how it plays out.
That's all we can do is just see what happens, see how they go about it. When at the end of the show, when Bully and Josh are face to face, and Bully cuts his little promo. Not on a microphone. He's just in Josh's face, and he's saying about before you can be taken seriously as a world champion, you need to prove yourself. Beat the best and whatever bollocks he said.
Yeah.
I think this could be the start of an even longer story arc where Josh has to knock off the best of Impact's past in order to improve himself as the present.
Okay. I'd be a bit for that. It's just like I said, I'm Impact for me a benefit of the doubt when it comes to the sometimes questionable booking, in my opinion. But one thing, saying that on Impact tonight when you're watching, Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray take on Ace and Bay Bullet Club. If Ace and Bay lose, I will lose my shit because they did not need to lose that match. But I've got a horrible feeling. Well, I will be fully pissed off if Ace and Bay lose that to Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray when there's no need for that one.
I think not only are Ace and Bay going to lose, I think Chris Bay is going to eat the pin.
Yeah. It's that horrible feeling in my stomach when they do not need to. But I can't, in my head, I can't figure out a way of how Ace and Bay are going to win this clean. It's just, I don't know.
Unless they use Juice Robinson, who we know was in Albany, to get one over on Dreamer, then Bully Ray is pinning Chris Bay all day long.
Yeah. And of course, on Impact's YouTube for, I believe, for Ultimate Insiders, the digital media exclusive match is Ace Bay and Juice versus Alex Zane. Damn, I forgot the other two.
Trey Miguel and
Laredo Kid, of course. Now, if you've watched it, you see Jeff getting a 2-sweet from Ace for the incredible science. He didn't get on TV more.
Yeah, such a shame because he was just the wrong side of the camera. He was the side of the hard cam. So that when you're looking at the hard cam, he's like there.
Yeah, which
so you can't see him, unfortunately.
You took the right guess in assuming it'll be that side, because Impact do usually film from that angle. They film with it facing the apron, the entrance. So it's fortunate, and of course the seeing Speedball kick the Speedball sign would have been great, and seeing it break. But I guess there's always another time.
Yeah.
So that was the coil shot. It was an interesting one. Now we get on to mine, pretty sure yours and most people's match of the night for the Knockouts World Championship. Jordynne Grace defeats Masha Slamovich in holy, just wow. First of all, Jordynne Grace looked jacked, and Masha looked incredible with the Bull Nakano face paint. It's just everything about the presentation of that match was superb, and then the match itself. I couldn't. I wanted to really like shout for that one, like really cheer for it from here, but I had people around me sleeping, so I couldn't. Which I had to hold it inside because I was so hyped for this match. I still say this should have been the main event, but we'll get into main event next, of course. But your thoughts on Jordynne Grace and Masha Slamovich tearing the house down?
It was so good, wasn't it? I love the changes to Masha's presentation. The Bull Nakano face paint was really cool, but also the new entrance video, the new music. She comes across as such a badass, and considering she's quite little, she's not very tall. I mean, she's obviously very powerful, but she's not You know, she's not jacked like Jordynne Grace.
No.
She just comes across as so intimidating. That really comes through the television at you. You know, it resonates. So yeah, her presentation is fantastic. But then you've got Jordynne Grace, the other side of the ring, who you know how much work she puts in to you know, improving her body. You know, she obviously she trains like a mad person.
Yeah.
She, you know, she must have a very, very strict diet. Yeah, she. What can you say about Jordynne Grace? You know, she is, for me, she's one of the best wrestlers in the world. You know, regardless of the training and her appearance. You know, she not only is she bettering herself physically, she betters herself, you know, in the ring.
Yeah.
Every time out. You know, she obviously studies. She's worked on her promos. You know, her promos are so much better than when she came into Impact. It's unreal. She blows me away. She's incredible. And this match was just a testament to both women, their drive, their determination, and their skill. Because the match, it was match of the night, and I mean, it will go. I would be surprised if it's not Knockouts match of the year.
It was perfect from bell to bell, and it had more of a story to it than a couple of other matches. But again, that's mainly from the contract signing from before, where they just Masha put Jordynne for a table. This match was so good, and I mean, just perfect. Jordynne Grace she was like strong in the beginning when she first came in. Now she's next level. Jordynne is the perfect Knockouts champion. And you know, and saying something, considering a few months ago, a couple years ago, was saying Jordynne's kind of fallen off. She's not. You know, she hasn't got. We thought she was going to turn heel because she needed something added to it, but since winning the Knockouts title, she's just smashing it. I can't. Jordynne Grace will go down as one of the best Knockouts champions of all time.
100%.
That's. I don't think that can be debated. She has done. It's not over yet as well. She's done such a great job. Now, yeah, there is this thing of, well, Masha lost, and it's going to take a little bit longer to rebuild her than it would have for Jordynne. But that match did not hurt Masha in any way, shape, or form. If she looked badass and nearly came out on top, but they think they want to make Jordynne Jordynne is a champion. They want to make her look like she's on another level, which she is. And that's great. That Grace driver from the ropes, brutal.
I couldn't understand the physics of the move. Obviously, she hit it, but she went with her.
Yeah,
I've rewound it, and I can't figure out exactly what she does, but it looked amazing.
I know.
It was move of the night for sure.
Yes, I should have written notes on this match, but what can be said about this one? They both smashed it.
Here's the thing: you can write notes, but then you're not enjoying the match as a fan, and that's exactly what we do. You know, we're a couple of Impact Wrestling fans. We enjoy it. We don't sit there and write every single move, and you know.
Right.
What you said about rebuilding Masha, I think in order to keep her strong, you need to do an immediate rematch. I think.
Okay.
Because where does Jordynne go from here? She's just beaten the most dominant wrestler on the roster.
Yeah.
And what do you do with Masha? You don't just put her at the back of the line again and rebuild her. I think you need to keep her strong. I think you need to do a rematch with some sort of stipulation. Maybe 2 out of 3 or Iron Woman, something like that.
Yeah, that would kill.
Yeah.
So I think on this week's Impact, Masha needs to come out and have a 2-second squash match.
Yeah.
Be more pissed off than she has been, which, I mean, well, Masha wasn't really pissed off beforehand, but now she can be. Now she can just come out and just kill everyone. Which that's the way I would go, because it's prove it, because now Masha's lost. You need to have you can't have her lose again.
Yeah.
So just have her come out, smash it, kill some local talent, and then I agree. Keep the feud going between Jordynne and Masha. Keep it going, because they'll smash it every time, no matter what. So next we go to the main event. Nearly half an hour long. It felt shorter in a good way. Josh Alexander defeats Eddie Edwards to retain the Impact World Championship. Again, we said it before, we weren't necessarily overly hyped for this match, but they smashed it. Eddie and Josh had a banger, and I was wrong. I only thought Eddie would win the world title, but it keeps going with Josh. We had some shenanigans from Honor More as expected, but that was swiftly dealt with, which I'm all for. It of course had the both families sat at ringside, which again I thought was a nice touch. We haven't seen Eddie's kids before, but we haven't seen that side of Lish really either. She's always Lish has always been just on the roster, and every time Eddie does something, then she gets pissed off with him, and that'll be it. But I felt Lish had more of an input in this one, and I've got there's something about the ending with Honor No More is telling me Eddie may turn back. I've got this feeling, because he just rolled at the ring. I get it was probably a bit pissed off he lost, but he didn't get involved in the beatdown, which he normally does. So, but all in all, a great match, but it kind of, like you said, we were every match slapped, and we had to go to the main event and keep that energy up for half an hour. And say being 3 a.m., half 3, it took some. I mean, this is the match where I nearly fell asleep. I managed to keep my eyes open because I stood up. I had to stand up for it, but I still enjoyed it. And what was your take on this match and the Eddie on a No More situation, given what's potentially happening, what has happened now? They're on No More free agents.
So first things first. Like I said earlier, I kind of zoned out at the start of this match because, the show had been so good and so frantic that I just needed a breather. So what I would have done is I would have moved Raven's Hall of Fame speech to after Jordynne and Masha. So you have a bit of a
Okay.
come down, and then you can you build them back up nicely for the world title match.
Yeah.
Because I think the match suffered. Having said that, when I regained my concentration sort of halfway through the match, I loved it. The match was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it, because it deserves my full attention. But yeah, the stuff I saw was really good. I'm glad Josh won. I'm glad his potentially legendary reign will continue.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't lose it to Bully Ray.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Yeah. But yeah, the beatdown afterwards with Bully making the save and then Mike Bennett going through the table. It was good stuff. But yeah, let's just see where it all goes. And as far as Honor No More goes, I hope this isn't the end for them.
Yeah,
Because
I don't want
there's still story to tell there with PCO.
Yeah.
Who should have won Call Your Shot, by the way.
Yeah. PCO, Macklin, there's so many more, I don't say better, but there was somewhat people on there who have earned it whilst in Impact, but we've covered that. But yeah, did I just completely avoid it, or did I just not see Bennett go for the table? I didn't see that.
The credits rolled, the show went to black, maybe 15 seconds after there'd been black, the cameras came back on and they showed Bully and Josh putting Mike Bennett through the table.
Right. Yeah, okay, so I did miss it then, because I pretty much turned off as soon as the Impact 20 thing came up. I was like, yeah, I'm off. Cool. Nice one.
Considering there was a table still set up in the ring, I knew something was going to happen, so I stayed tuned in that little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine a lot of people missed it. Most people would have missed it.
Yeah. I mean, from what I gathered from Jeff, there was Bully and Josh after the show cut about a 20-minute promo, which was okay. And apparently Bully Ray was not a fan of the Honor No More section, the girls in the Honor No More section.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of with him there.
apparently, he said if this was old school Bully Ray, he would cut a old school Bully Ray promo on those girls, and the crowd apparently popped for it. I don't think the crowd were massively into them either, but maybe they're probably gone after this weekend's tapings.
Well, if Taven's not there anymore,
yeah,
they're not going to stick around.
No, they're probably gone. But yeah, all in all, it was a great show. Like, if you're looking at it purely from the matches, everyone just smashed it. If you're looking at it from the interesting, the two, maybe three interesting booking decisions, then you're going to let that ruin a perfectly good pay-per-view.
Exactly.
I'll keep saying it. Impact are at a level they never ever drop below it. Never. They only raise it or match it. I can't think of a bad Impact Plus special Impact pay-per-view since 2018, since Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just been great. And just so as a whole, out of 10, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to go with 9.5. They're going to drop 0.5 of a point because Bully Ray won Call Your Shot. And I know it's hypocritical because I've been saying about let it pan out and stuff. But I just think Bully Ray's a tool.
Yeah. I think I've got to go for just a straight 9. It was, like I said, I keep saying, no pay-per-view is a 10 anymore, really. I can't think of one that's really been a 10 out of 10 where everything went perfectly, and but this is all perspective. If it's a 10 out of 10 for you, amazing. Nothing went wrong for you, fantastic. But yeah, the Bully Ray thing miffed me. No, that's probably about it, to be honest. Just quickly before we go, do you think with Josh, obviously, this is where his title reign really picked up for me. Where it's like I said, this was the first match I believed where he could potentially lose. Do you think this can be the kickoff point, or is it facing Bully Ray, just another name to add to it?
I'm hoping it's another name to add to the list of people he's beaten this year.
Right. Yeah.
And I still say that your main event of Hard to Kill on Friday the 13th of January, it's got to be Josh versus PCO. It just makes so much sense.
I mean, yeah, maybe. But I won't say what it is, but if this potential spoiler that I saw does come to fruition, then I don't know where the fuck is what's gonna happen where. So I'm just trying to, without giving it away, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. But it probably wasn't a spoiler. I hope it wasn't anyway. But no, all in all, I love Bound for Glory. Considering we're going into the pay-per-view saying, well, there isn't a lot of hype for it, as there should be. And there wasn't, but a sold-out crowd with walk-ins on the day. Perfect.
Well, yeah, here's the thing about the crowd. The crowd were hot all night. The crowd, they came across as loud. I know Jeff was there and he said the crowd kind of had its lulls. But on pay-per-view, watching on Fight TV, the crowd were hot all night. They were loud for everything. And that makes a huge difference in your enjoyment levels when you're watching a show like this. And I also heard that, that they sold 1,800 tickets. They'd essentially sold out. With walk-ins, they had to open up more sections that they would have had taped off. You still there, Craig?
Like it. Okay, so I guess for that. Oh,
are you still there?
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
The point I was making, I don't know when I lost you, but they'd sold 1,800 tickets. Essentially sold out. Yeah. With walk-ins, they had to open up areas of the arena that they had initially taped off.
Yeah.
So yeah, the show has to be considered a success.
Yeah, and just before we go, I know people often get on Impact's asked about the look of the pay-per-views. Like, it doesn't feel like pay-per-view because they're using the same set. But from the where the hard cameras on the bleachers, which looked great, the screens on the side, it looked incredible. The arena sounded great. It looked great, and there was, for the first time probably since I've ever started watching on Fight, the signal stayed up for the entire show. It didn't glitch. Probably for the first time since I've been ordering stuff on Fight TV. So there's nothing to complain about apart from if you're unhappy with some decisions. But again, And that's frustrating, but we've got to let it play out. That's the important part, because that was just a solid, a fucking fantastic show. And I go back to Atlanta for Hard to Kill, which the Atlanta crowd last time we were there, the world got shut down because of COVID. So it'd be nice to see them really play out in Atlanta, because it was a great crowd last time.
Are they back at centre stage for Hard to Kill? That's where they had Against All Odds, and the crowd were great, and the setup looked amazing. So I think it's a great location for Hard to Kill.
Yeah, and a Friday the 13th as well, which is just and of course Overdrive November 18th, I believe. So it's going to be fun. And I guess on that note, we will call this a podcast. This has been a podcast. I've been the MIC. This has been Nixon, and will continue to be Nixon. Until next time, goodbye, my friends.